And what are your thoughts about using AI in music, maybe? How do you feel about AI in general, and is it going to potentially change the whole industry? Hi, you're listening to Escarok, and I'm here with Sharon from Within Temptation, and it's really good to see you. And how is your day so far?
Busy with a lot of interviews and still got a lot after this one, but I'm looking forward to talk with everyone because yeah, it's nice to talk about the new album and the subjects on it. So
So, first of all, I want to wish you well on the International Day of Girls. And I wanted to ask you about the challenges that you face as a woman in this heavy music scene, and what message you would like to share with girls that want to follow your footsteps.
well, the thing is, when at the time that I started, there weren't that many girls in metal,
Yeah.
but there were girls. I saw a lot of ladies who were doing heavy stuff. You know, more like, for instance, the drummer of Prince was actually a girl, Sheila E. And there was Candy Dulfer, but that's all a little bit more alternative pop music that I saw them in. And so I was like, okay, you know, they're playing instruments. They don't always have to sing. And I think when you see an example, and even Madonna, although she was pop music, she was like rebellious in many ways, embracing her femininity and being a woman and not being afraid to do so. So there were so many different people. Janis Joplin,
Yeah.
that was like empowering already in the 60s. Um, Maybe people, ladies from different genres that inspired me. And I hope that with what we're doing, I hope to inspire also girls and just go for it. You know, you're equal to men, and you can be a different voice and a different color. You don't have to act like them or do what they do, but bring your own talent to the surface, and you'll be different and yeah, special, I guess.
Yeah, that's really important. And what makes you feel empowered?
What makes me feel empowered? Well, hearing stories about girls who actually say, "I started a band because of you guys," and you know, and maybe yeah, and then finding their own way and still going forward and just enjoying music. You don't always have to be like successful in the you know, in every level, but just the fact that you have fun doing it, you grow from that as well.
So I know that there is a lot of going on with Within Temptation, and your album is going to be out on the 20th of October. And what emotions do you experience in terms of the release and the upcoming tour?
Well, of course, a lot of singles have been released already so far before the album comes
Yeah.
out. It was because of the pandemic that we released more songs than we normally would have done. But I'm looking forward to it because there's still some songs that people that have not heard yet. There's still a video coming out from Rituals, also probably a week after the album release. And so I'm looking forward to the reactions on all to those kind of things. And I'm looking forward to tour again next year. A lot of people think it's this year, but it's next year.
Yeah.
So you have time enough to think if you can come to a show and maybe save up for it, what everybody needs to do. And so I'm looking forward to that. Yes.
So it seems that you're unafraid to address difficult topics in your songs and emphasize freedom in your music and in your lyrics. And could you tell us something more about the inspirations that influenced the album and the message that you want to share with the world through your music?
Well, it's different with every song, but most songs were, well, there's a big part of the songs that is inspired by the Ukraine people and the war that Russia started uh, with the Ukraine. And so we have Go to War, which you haven't heard yet. It's a new song. And we have Worth Dying For, which is a new song. We have Wireless, which is about the Russians going to war. We have so many songs that, you know, you have Cyanide Love, which is a new song as well. It's also about the war in the Ukraine. So it inspired a lot, this topic, especially because we were so in shock that this actually is happening. Um, and to deal with the frustration and the fact that there's another big war happening, actually, because what we do realize is that Russia is a superpower. It's not just a country that starts a war. It's a huge country with a lot of people. They can go on with this war endlessly. And the support for the Ukraine, I know in a lot of countries, it's fading. And even and then in a small way we try to contribute to keep that subject alive and to address why it's so important to support the Ukraine, because the fact that it is a sovereign country, a country that wants to be a country with democracy. And if Russia wins, it will be another country that will be oppressed. And they won't stop with the Ukraine. They will go on until they have their whole full Russia back again, as the Soviet Union once was. And people think it will stop at the borders, but I don't believe that. I believe it's important to support Ukraine because they are fighting for everyone's freedom and in a democracy. And so I think you will have a better life with a regime that doesn't support, the way the Russians do run their country. I think it should be run with democracy is a better chance for the next generations to come.
I think that people may perceive such topics in different ways, but I think it's really brave of you and very necessary to speak about what's happening in the world right now.
Yeah, well, it's also that, I understand that people might think differently, and I respect that, but that's the difference between where we are living and where they are living in Russia, is they can't talk openly about it like we are doing now. And we are living in a democracy still. And and we are able to talk about it, and we can agree to disagree, but that's democracy.
That's really important. And do you maybe have any particular track on the new album that has a special place in your heart, or you consider the most important, and why?
Well, I've got several that I like very much for different reasons. I like Bleed Out because it's also because it's talking about women, and not just women, but also a new generation trying to fight for more freedom, a cry for freedom, which I think is inspiring to see individuals stand up for their fight for freedom for a next generation to have it better, even that they might die or being thrown in prison for many years. And I think that was a topic that inspired me a lot, and I'm really glad that we had that song. But also, again, the war in the Ukraine is a very important one for me personally, because we went to the Ukraine so many times. We have met so many beautiful, loving, nice people. We played in Kherson, for instance, and we were there for 4 or 5 days. And we got a tour through the town. The mayor invited us to plant a tree for freedom, which is a bit strange looking back on that now, especially that there's a war going on. And the people we've met, they embraced us so much, and knowingly that maybe these people are not alive anymore, because Kherson was hit very badly, of course. So that makes it even more. It affects us, because we have those memories, and there are more people that we've met that came from the Ukraine that we are following on social media, that we like, that we know, and it becomes a little bit more personal. So, but also a song like Rituals, which is not about all these heavy subjects, but it's more a fun track, is also one of my favorites, because it's more light and it just takes the edge off everything that we have been talking about.
So you talked a bit about the Bleed Out song, and that was my next question, because the song was released with a very interesting music video, and as I know, it was made with the help of artificial intelligence. And
yes.
How was it to create such a video, and how the process looked like? Because it's something new, it's really interesting.
Yes, well, it's very controversial as well. The thing is with artificial intelligence is you can do a lot, but artificial intelligence, AI, doesn't work as easy as people think. It took us a lot of effort and time to create that video for Bleed Out. Especially the lip sync is terrible. Still isn't that great in the video, but it's the best we could do in 1.5 months. I mean, that's a long time of
That's a
working
long
on it.
time, yeah.
Yeah, and what we did was we did a video that we used, we did it in the traditional way. We just filmed the video as we normally would have, but then put all the footage through an AI tool. So we have hired actors. The band is there. The whole crew of the video, who makes the video, was there. We didn't exclude anyone. Everybody was there that we normally ask to work for us, but we added one person to it, and that was an expert of AI. And so I think it's a very difficult thing. AI, it is a tool. It's something new. I'm not sure if it will continue for a lot of bands using it, because maybe the new thing will get lost in a while. And people think, well, we'll wait until it gets really good and then we'll try it. But because it doesn't really do what you want to do it, and takes a lot of time. So like I said, we had to work on it for 1.5 months. Although you can do it without people as well, and leave out all the people that you normally work with, but that didn't feel right. And we did also wanted to do it in our own way, and to have control over the footage, how it turns out. And you can do that by filming really in real time what's happening. The fun fact also is that everybody that we used to work with already in the past, everybody's using AI nowadays. So it's not like it's just us as a band that wanted that, but also the director who actually made our videos in the past is using AI for a lot of things already.
Yeah, it's a really impressive piece of work. It was really interesting to watch such a new tool to be used.
Yes, exactly. You get a different kind of vibe and something we haven't seen before, and it was nice to do that for a change.
And what are your thoughts about using AI in music, maybe? How do you feel about AI in general, and is it going to potentially change the whole industry?
In general, I think AI is something, what you see with AI in general, and then even outside of music, I think you see is that the technology goes before laws. And so unfortunately, there is no laws to tell us what the boundaries are, what we are allowed to use and not to use, which I hope will be there soon, because then you won't have this debate constantly with everyone that it's bad for us to use it or for anyone to use it, because there are also a lot of positive sides to AI, and a lot of people don't know what it is and how it works, and makes people are afraid for it, and which is a good thing also in a way, because there are dangers with AI, to my opinion, and I think that's why there needs to be laws to prevent things from happening, bad things from happening, or using it in a bad way. Concerning the music, I don't think I will ever use AI personally within music, because for me the magic happens like on canvas. It's like one moment there's nothing, and the second moment there somehow something you created yourself is the most magical and beautiful thing. To my experience, is how we write music, and we do it ourselves. And so that's for me. I would never do that, but I do know that it will be used, of course, by bands. And we did use it for a biography, by the way, to write a new biography. Or someone who works for us in management said, I used AI to write your biography. I was just curious what would come out. And and then we hired someone actually to write a real one for us. And it wasn't that different, to be honest.
Okay.
It was better with the person who did it, but there was a bit of overlap there, is actually. And not saying that this person used AI for it, but it does help you to, like, there's a lot of things about us on the internet, and it puts it in one sketch, in one thing on paper immediately, and then you have to still go through it because there's a lot of mistakes in there, apparently. So it saves time for people to do certain work, and it will be used by a lot of people, I think. But that's okay. It's not like it's changing something creative for us. So in that corner, but it's something that still we can debate about a long time. Hopefully the law will come that tells us what we are allowed to use and not to use.
Yeah, sure. And going back to European tour, I know it's still a little while away, but are there any surprises that you plan to incorporate into the shows?
Well, you know, after this is done, when all the interviews are done, we are going towards thinking about what we're going to do on stage and how the stage is going to look, because we haven't started yet.
Okay.
We have a whole year now,
Oh yeah,
and I'm looking
that's
forward
true.
to doing. Yeah, so Robert is mostly in charge of those kind of things, and he has his own team that helps him with that. But I did tell him this time I'm going to try to help you as well with this, because the music is done, so I have more time, and I'm looking forward to create with the whole team something amazing. And we have a whole year to do that. That's also why we're taking a year before we're going to start, because you know, writing the album took a lot of time, and also promoting the tour with Evanescence was also time consuming. And so we finally are now free to do the next thing, and that's to give you a hell of a surprise when we're coming to see our show, trying to make something special again.
I can't wait to see that.
Thank you.
And do you maybe have any special rituals or routines that you follow before going on stage to, you know, energize yourself on or to be more confident maybe?
What we do is we try to do every time is see each other before we go on stage, and we have these silly handshakes, and sometimes we give each other a power talk when somebody needs it. You know, it's important to go on stage as a band, not as individuals, and because you have to do this together. It's a teamwork. And it's fun to really energize each other. And the silly handshakes and stuff we do before we go on stage are nice rituals to keep us, yeah, to feel that connection together.
Yeah. So next year you're going to be back in Poland, so we can't wait for that. And my last question is, what message would you like to share with Polish fans that await for your shows?
I really hope they're going to be there. We really enjoyed playing in Poland last time, although it was without Evanescence, of course, because she was sick, Amy, at the time. And I was really pleased to see that still a lot of people came to our show, even though we were there on our own. Yeah, we're going to have a blast next time as well. Thank you for coming this time, and hope to see you next time again.
Thank you. Talking to you was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening.
You do have a great day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.